What is going on, guys? Rewinds here, and in this video I'm going to be bringing you guys some spoilers for Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Manga chapter number 21. So we pretty much have a lot of summary bulletin points that we're going to be going over, and I think that we also have a quick summary as well that was dropped. Shout out to Felix for all the information I'm going to show. So let's have a look. We got a couple battles that are going to be continuing this month, and we do have a very interesting development as well. So first things first, pretty much Sarada's new power for the Manga Kill Sharingan is being promoted as pretty broken, and that's that. So pretty much any attack that's aimed at Sarada gets sucked by the portal she creates, and Sarada can create multiple portals. Sarada also seems to be able to select a target, such as Ryu, who is getting sucked up in this battle. And she can also increase the size of the portal and crush the target with it. So pretty OP ability. The drawback is probably going to be, just how much she can use it, because she only has one Manga Kill Sharingan. So more on that in a bit. The color page for Boruto 2 Blue Vortex chapter 21 is a Sarada solo color page. And whenever stuff like that actually starts dropping, I'll make another video on that, but unfortunately we don't have any leaked pages or panels yet, so it's pretty much going to be strictly like a bullet point summary video. The chapter itself is titled Manga Kill Sharingan, and the chapter kicks off with Sarada having a flashback. Ryu ends up getting crushed by Sarada's Manga Kill power, and she ends up bleeding from her eye. So there's that drawback that I was talking about. Some people were questioning last month if Sarada was going to have to go through that or not. And I mean, if we're just, staying consistent with the lore in the Naruto verse, of course she would, unless she gets some eyes implanted, kind of like how Sasuke did or Obito did, you know. And it also says she seems to be tired from using her Manga Kill Sharingan and falls unconscious to the ground. So drawbacks are definitely there, which makes sense, especially if this is like the first time she's consciously using this ability, so that makes a lot more sense. We end up seeing the Thorn Soul regenerate, and Ada, Boruto, and Kashin Koji talking to each other. Then we head back to the other battlefield, which is Konohamaru and Matsuri, and Konohamaru is in big trouble as Matsuri is now stabbing him with two of her four-pointed collars. So we knew, based off how last chapter was going, that Konohamaru fucked up a little bit, and as a result, right now he's in a bad spot because his big attack to take on Matsuri, even though it caused a lot of damage to her, didn't end up dealing that killing blow due to some hesitation by him. However, Konohamaru is lucky because someone throws a kunai behind Matsuri's back, and it's Boruto. He teleported to the battlefield thanks to one of the Flying Thunder God's symbols. So, Boruto over here showed up at a great time, coming in to save his sensei, and we get to see him finally back on the battlefield. And this actually just makes things a lot more interesting too, because he was warned by Koji that if you show up on the battlefield right now, that Juro will kill you. So what's to come might be some crazy developments, but Konohamaru is saved, and it's thanks to that marking that Boruto must have put on him. Boruto ends up cutting Matsuri to pieces. Kashin Koji is now sweating, and pretty much that's implying that Boruto wasn't supposed to go. And then Jura ends up saying something like, "You've shown up, Otsutsuki Boruto." And that might be where the chapter ends based off what I'm seeing. And we can run through some of these tech spoilers too and see if there's anything different, but they should be similar. So yeah, any attack aimed at Sarada gets sucked by the portal. She probably needs to see the attack coming though, so that's more context. She can create multiple portals and select a target and increase the portal size power and crush the target with it. We talked about how the chapter starts and the color page, all that. The chapter being called Manga Kill Sharingan. So yeah, Sarada needs to see the attack coming, and she is floating like Ryu, so maybe she targeted herself. That's interesting. Ryu also tried to escape by using a claw grime, but his fingers are barely visible in the Shinju Dimension Cube. So it sounds like Ryu is getting done in dirty by Sarada right now. And Jura is looking at this without really saying much. But Ryu gets pinned by the portal gravity, so he can't move. So that's some more context on that battle. Ryu gets crushed by Sarada's Manga Kill power, and she bleeds on her eye, but she seems to be tired using her Manga Kill Sharingan and gets unconscious. Thankfully, Mitsuki grabbed her before she fell to the ground. So Mitsuki coming in clutch for his teammate there, and then we see that Thorn Soul regenerate, and then now we have Ada, Boruto, and Kashin Koji talking. Back to the Konohamaru and Matsuri battlefield, where pretty much a shuriken is thrown behind Matsuri's back, and it's Boruto. He teleported to the battlefield with that Flying Thunder God symbol, and then Boruto takes her out with ease. And then to end the chapter, Jura says something like, "You've shown up, Otsutsuki Boruto." So yeah, that was more or less the same of what we've been over with some additional details. I know we have a little bit more up here, so I'm going to go over that, and that should pretty much wrap it up. So Sarada's Manga Kill Sharingan's name is Oohirume, I want to say. And there could be some different names for it because I've seen like 2 or 3 different ways it's spelled so far. So that could change. But a lot of people are translating it as great son or great son along with wife or spouse. So some people are starting to think this has some sort of connection to her interest in Boruto. But the one I've seen most consistently is Great Son, which is also a cool little reference because Boruto seems to be the son for a lot of these people, especially we know with Mitsuki and everything. So this could be a little bit of a reference to that. But we'll have to see a little bit more on that, I guess, as official, translations come out when the chapter drops, I feel. But at least we have an idea. A little bit more thing about it is that Felix over here is saying for the shippers not to get too hyped about it because this could just be a reference to the Amaterasu, which very well could be true as well. It could also be one of those, double meaning things, so we'll see when we get a little bit more context on that. So, last thing here, here's a quick summary version of everything. Again, there might be a couple of things here maybe that I didn't get to touch up on in the other points, but let's have a quick look. So, Sarada flashback as her stating that she always focused on the important stuff and ignoring the stuff that was not. So, pretty much focusing on the important goal and rather than like the stuff that doesn't matter. And that she thought that emotions and feelings were in her way and a weakness. So, pretty much she was suppressing them. Since she's not a genius like Naruto and Sasuke, so she had to make extra efforts to focus on what's important. So, I guess this just shows you what her mindset has been this whole time. Then we have a Boruto flashback with Sasuke, and it has Sasuke explain that the Manga Kill Sharingan to Boruto, and Sarada pretty much accepts that her feelings aren't a weakness. Now, Sarada's power, Manga Kill Sharingan, the Oohirume, is gravity, so pretty much you can think of it as Nagato's ability with no drawbacks, I guess, aside from, overuse of the eye with the Manga Kill Sharingan. So she can spam black holes all over and choose who and what will be affected or not. So everything affected will be drawn to those black holes. And then she can detonate those black holes at will for massive damage when something makes contact with it. She does this with Ryu, and Ryu gets blown up in seconds, and a Thorn Soul bulb appears. So it sounds like she did this pretty effortlessly to Ryu. So she has a broken ability, and she's probably going to be very useful in future battles against Shinju, I would assume. Kashin Koji seems pretty pleased with it, saying Sarada's Manga Kill Sharingan is crucial for what happens next. So, okay, this is something clearly Koji wanted, and Boruto asked then if there was a way to prevent Yodo from dying. Koji answers that Boruto coming to save the day would prevent Sarada from awakening the Manga Kill Sharingan, so Yodo was doomed. So dang, in a way, that's pretty much telling us that Yodo is done. It really could be. Some people were thinking this would be a fake out death, but it really seems like Yodo's gonna die in this battle. So Sarada's awakening, came at the cost of someone's death. So that's something to kind of take into account. Boruto isn't really pleased that Kashi and Koji never said anything about that, which is very in character for Koji, I think, because he's just trying to see the best future happen based off what he's seeing. But Boruto obviously doesn't want to see people die. And Koji answers that Boruto coming to help would make Jura come out of hiding and that we can't have that. Since Jura can sense and see and hear whatever the other Shinju does, and Boruto asks, wait, what about Konohamaru? And Konohamaru is about to get killed by Matsuri. Boruto then doesn't even wait. He uses the Flying Thunder God and uses pretty much like pretty much what happens is we get a Trunks versus Frieza repeat on Matsuri, and Koji face palms to this, but it seems like Boruto showed up to the scene and sliced up Matsuri Trunks style, and Jura says, "Oh, here he comes. Time to get to work." And that's where the chapter ends. So we've had a couple different versions of, extended like bullet points and summary in this video thanks to Felix. So a lot of extra context has been added, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this month's summary and spoilers and everything. I personally am a big fan. Seems like we're getting an exciting chapter, and it seems like both battles here are concluding, which I know some people have wanted them to go a little bit faster. So me personally, I'm a fan of the spoilers. Can't wait to read the full chapter and bring you guys a review. If some panels do come out at some point, I'll be sure to make a video on that as well. But for now, this is going to be it. I'm happy to say Sarada's Manga Kill Sharingan ability is something that I feel like I like as of right now. I'm happy Boruto pulled up to the battle scene. I'm happy Konohamaru did not die. Who knows what would have really happened. Hopefully Koji does mention something. That would be cool. And next month, we'll see if Jura shows up to the battle scene, and who knows, maybe Kawaki will too or something. But that's going to wrap up this one. If you guys did enjoy the video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you guys are new. And as always, I hope you guys have a good day or night whenever you guys are watching this video. I'm Rewinds, and I'm out.